Hey students, welcome back to Year 10 Health. A fair bit of Year 10 Health from this year was done in this means with a tutorial based video. I'm going to try and keep this video short and sweet because I really think that today at least 65 of minutes of this time needs to be about you. You getting your mind into that Year 10 framework, ready to give detail in your responses and really pick apart some of these big issues and questions. And that's the focus for today's lesson, is the big issue. Throughout Year 7 and 8, Unanswerable Question, Learning Mentor, you guys have actually tackled how to work with a little bit of inquiry-based research. And today is going to call upon some of those skills for you. Today is all about picking an issue in health. Now, what we need to understand is that if you don't fully comprehend what we did in class yesterday about the 5 dimensions of health, that physical, social, mental, emotional, and spiritual health and well-being, and how they all interlock together and how one can affect the other, then this is going to be a rather challenging task. Because if you just pick, for example, a torn muscle, that's an issue. It could be a health issue, but how can that torn muscle become such a big issue that it becomes a statewide, countrywide, national, or worldwide global problem? Take, for example, something like COVID-19. How is this a global pandemic? Think about poverty. Think about unsafe living environments, poor sanitation, low socioeconomic status, no access to healthcare. These are big issues that help all of us try and understand more about health and human development, and why in some countries the life expectancy if you live in that country is much higher than if you live in another country. So what we need to start doing today is picking an issue. I don't expect this task to get completed, but I really think there's going to be a lot of research and the beginnings of a presentation starting to take shape during today's online lesson. I'd like to ask you to go to your Compass page where you found this video. I would like to direct you over to the Resources tab, into the folder called HeadStart, and find this document called Health Issues Task. When you open up that health issues task, this is what you're going to be met with, the big issue, which is the task for today. You are to choose a health issue of your choice, something that you're interested in. There's many to choose from. So you may not choose something that you've already covered in Year 7 and 8, but if your understanding of health and human development issues at a global level is minimal, then you can pick something that you do know, but I'd like for you to challenge yourself. I really would like to see that. So think about some other issues: cloning, refugees, infectious disease, homelessness, teen violence, pill testing at music festivals, safe injecting rooms. If you don't know what any of this is and you want to look it up, I think that's a great place to start. You're going to put together a presentation. So I think PowerPoint is a great way to go for this, or something like a Prezi, or whatever it might be, a Sway. If you've never used Sway, that's a really interesting way to present something. But you're going to present a digital, meaning on the computer, collage, a collection to introduce your topic. So I think a graph is something that you really want to place in to show that it is an issue. You need pictures, and you want a link to show me a clip that explains something. So you're going to spend a bit of time on YouTube or any of the other TED Talks to try and find out what is your issue. The majority of this lesson will be spent researching. I think if you follow these dot points, you're going to find researching your big issue much easier task. If you try and work out, how do I describe it? What are some facts? Why is it an issue? Is it only an issue in some countries or other countries? What are the determinants or the things that make this influential on my health or others' health? How does it impact physical, social, mental, emotional, and spiritual? What are the conflicting views? Do some people say it's not an issue and others say it is? And have you found any other interesting information that you think might be inclusive in your presentation? I think if you were to design the layout or the skeleton of your PowerPoint and start throwing in a few dot points that you already know, and then spend a fair bit of time doing some research and adding to your PowerPoint, the only one thing that I really want to stress for you: finding a slab of information on a website especially something like a Wikipedia, copying and pasting it into your presentation is not helping you learn. This task and this big issue task is going to show me already which students are excelling. You do not need to hand this in to me. I will ask when I see you back in person in our next class to see where the progression is on this work. But you do need to communicate with your teacher for today via email or however they choose. They'll put it in the lesson plan because I won't be available to take you today, that you are present for class. Good luck with this work, and as always, enjoy it. As you go through it and you learn more information, you need to find that education enriching. I'll see you in class later in the week.